Good evening and welcome to this Wednesday, December 16th edition of EastCast. With co-anchor Jeff Pollack and sports anchor Ron Spitz, I'm Tracy Identon with just 1 week left until a much-needed winter break. Holiday festivities are underway at East. Tomorrow night, the Winter Band Concert will take place at 7:30 in East's Auditorium. Concert band, symphonic band, and wind ensemble have been practicing the music since the beginning of this year. Each band is an elective here at East. Music students start out in concert band and then audition for symphonic band and wind ensemble. The bands perform only 2 concerts a year, tomorrow's winter concert and one in the spring. Junior Bill Scott of Wind Ensemble says of tomorrow night's event, quote, "It's good to be able to perform in front of people in order to show off all of our hard work," unquote. Admission is free, so come out and support East's musical talent tomorrow night at 7:30 in East's Auditorium. The entertainment seems never to stop in Cherry Hill East's Auditorium. The yearbook staff is having a concert this Friday night, December 18th at 8 o'clock. There will be a solo piano concert by 10-year-old Helen Huang. Helen is a musical prodigy and has played piano all around the world. The business manager for the yearbook, Ari Cohen, says of Friday night's concert, quote, "I am extremely excited that a person of Helen Huang's talent is doing a concert for us," unquote. The price of admission is just $4 and proceeds will offset yearbook costs. And this week's SAT word of the week is furtive. Done or acted in a stealthily manner, sly. As vacation approaches, teachers furtively try to sneak in tests, hoping that we won't notice.
The upcoming East drama production Godspell is a unique show. It opens Friday, January 22nd, and continues on Saturday the 23rd and Sunday the 24th. Godspell is a rock musical with an interesting history. One day, a college professor interested in the effects that religion has on people's lives asked his students to act out situations in front of the class. From these improvisations, the script of Godspell was written. The play tells the gospel through parables, songs, and games. Originally, there was a cast of 13, Jesus and his 12 disciples. In East production, there are 16 characters. All of the characters in the East production have the same names of the actor who plays them. Even Eric Braverman, who plays the role of Jesus, is called Eric during the performance. Isn't that furtive? The music of Godspell is also unique. It's a blend of rock that everyone will love. Actress Rebecca Fried, whose character is Becca, of course, says of Godspell, quote, "No matter what religion you are, it's an experience that will move you," unquote. The play is directed by Mr. Robert Nation, Mrs. Wilson is the vocal director, and Mr. Thomas Weaver is the technical director. The stage manager is Tama Dichter, and the assistant stage manager is Melissa Amster. A lot of time and effort has been put into the production of Godspell, and it is sure to pay off in yet another memorable East production. The altruism of Cherry Hill East students and faculty will shine once again at the annual FOP holiday party this Monday, December 21st. Every year, FOP organizes a holiday party for mentally handicapped children. A hearty meal is served, and Santa Claus goes around spreading holiday cheer. The party will take place at the Cherry Hill Hyatt. Any student at East that has walked by the SGA office and the auditorium has probably almost tripped over an FOP member making festive decorations for the party. The members were divided into 3 groups, those decorating the ballroom, those decorating the Santa Claus room, and those in charge of table decorations. Senior FOP member Steve Sempier says of the FOP party, quote, "It was a lot of work, but it's worth it to see their smiling faces." FOP continues to be a great holiday tradition here at East.
Mock trial has started up again this year with a major change. Mr. Ronald Hillman of the History Department is no longer the faculty advisor. Mr. Nation has stepped in to fill his shoes. East's mock trial team is preparing for their upcoming competition on February 6th. Previously, I had a chance to speak with Mr. Philip L. Lusbader, the main attorney advisor of East's mock trial team. Mr. Lusbader, tell us what exactly is mock trial?
Mock trial is the enactment of a fictitious legal case which is being used by every high school and college throughout New Jersey for this year.
And can you tell us something about the case this year?
This year's case involves a criminal matter in which a student by the name of Dale Goldman in our case was working in an environmental laboratory. And Dale is accused of trying to steal various papers from the laboratory in connection with a raid that occurred, by a protest, I don't want to give away too much of the case, by a protest that was occurring outside the lab by a group by the name of Born Free, that were animal rights groups. As Dale was exiting the laboratory, he was beaten by a security guard who thought that he was in the process of stealing papers, when, from the prosecution side of the case, Dale was simply doing his job inside the lab.
Okay. Can you tell us who are the main players on Cherry Hill East mock trial team this year?
Sure. On the prosecution side of the case, we have two lawyers. One is Michael Lusbader, the other is Sandra Liddy. Playing the witnesses on the prosecution side are Anthony D'Alessandro, Richard Shum, and Dan Uting. On the defense side of the case, we have a similar setup with two lawyers and three witnesses. And there we have Joe Cho, Greg Weintraub as the lawyers, and Victor Chen, Tommy Hepps, and Jen Clear playing the witnesses.
I see. Now, your son Michael is one of the main attorneys, and your daughter Jamie is an alternate witness. What's that like working with your children?
Oh, it's great fun. It's really fantastic. This is Michael's third year in the mock trial team. It's my third year working with the team as well. But to see him develop legal skills, to develop the ability to stand up in court. These cases are held at, by the way, in courtrooms in front of live judges. And just to see him perform, to ask his questions, to do his closing statements, is just a lot of fun.
I see. And what are your predictions for the mock trial team this year?
It's very simple. The mock trial team not only will win Camden County this year, as we did last year, but we will go on and take the state finals this year and move on to the nationals, which will be held in, I believe, Atlanta this year.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been Tracy A. Denton with Mr. Lusbader for EastCast.
With all the news in East sports, here's Ron Spitz.
Thank you, Jeff. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas break, the sports scene here at East is dead. Basketball and wrestling have not yet begun, but the swim team is off to a fast start. Last Thursday, it crushed Eastern by 123 to 63. East Andrew Grossman and John Maslow each won 2 events while swimming on 2 relay teams. The girls' team is also off to a good start. They defeated Vineland 96 to 90 on Saturday. Winners included seniors Sarah Perloff and Megan Killian, while Jamie Kona and Robin Hasler also contributed. All in all, though, it was a great team effort. Now back to you, Jeff.
Hanukkah, the 8-day Jewish festival of lights, begins this Saturday night, December 19th. During the 8 days, the menorah is lit to commemorate the miracle of lights, and gifts are given. All of us at Cable 18 want to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah. Cherry Hill Schools lost a good friend last weekend. Radio personality Ken Garland passed away after a year-long battle with leukemia. Mr. Garland was a great supporter of Cherry Hill Public Schools and Cable 18. A well-known movie buff, he co-hosted the Film Forum show, and once even broadcast his popular WPEN show from our studio and allowed Cable 18 to simulcast the show on cable TV throughout South Jersey. He and the entire cast then stayed after the broadcast to answer questions from Cherry Hill East and West broadcasting students. Mr. Garland also helped publicize school events on his show. He was a longtime Cherry Hill resident whose children all attended the public schools. Mr. Garland also worked tirelessly for local charities, most notably the Leukemia Society. In this spirit, his family asks that donations in his name be made to the Ken Garland Leukemia Fund, care of WPEN Radio. Our sincere condolences go out to his wife Elaine and his 3 children. His distinctive voice and personality surely will be missed. That's all for another edition of EastCast. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the Cherry Hill East Choral and Orchestra concert following the Carusi news. For cameraman Mr. Gordon Hampson, cable advisor Mr. Keith Haynes, sports anchor Ron Spitz, and my co-anchor Tracy A. Denton, I'm Jeff Pollock. Just think there are just 7 more days until winter vacation. Happy holidays to all. Tonight we leave you with Ophelia, waiting to celebrate Hanukkah with her nephews. Good night, Ophelia.
Good evening and welcome to the West Report. I'm Ann Ebi.
And I'm Dave Feldman. 7 busloads of freshmen left Friday morning, December 11th, 1992, to see the McCarters Theater's production of Charles Dickens' classic A Christmas Carol in Princeton, New Jersey. In spite of weather conditions, the freshmen arrived at the theater with no problems. The show went beautifully, compared to last year's disappointing production, which is marred by technical difficulties.
The winter band concert was held last Wednesday, December 9th in West Auditorium. The concert band performed first, playing the Planet Suite by Gustav Holst, Psalm and Celebration by Bruce Pearson and Chuck Elledge, Coast Guard March by Carl F. King, and Celebration and Dance by James Swearingen. Then the Wind Ensemble performed Of Sailors and Whales by William Francis Macbeth, the Earl of Oxford's March from the William Byrd Suite by William Byrd, and Shepherd's Hay by Percy Grainger. Both groups had great performances. The orchestral and choral concert is tonight at 7:30 in the auditorium, and admission is free. Among the many pieces will be the annual performance of the Hallelujah Chorus from Handel's Messiah and the traditional Shalom Kavarim by the vocal groups directed by Mrs. Bass and the orchestra directed by Mrs. Kazinskis. Come see the show to put you in a holiday mood.
Just a reminder, support the sophomores by sending kisses, candy kisses that is, to the ones you love. For only $1 during any lunch period, you can purchase these kisses and write a personal message to be delivered on December 22nd, the Tuesday before vacation.
And speaking of kisses, here's a guy who expects a lot of them. Here's Dave Marica with West Sports.
In sports, the boys swim team fell to 0-2 this week as they lost to Kingsway 103-77. Chris Ergood won 2 events for West, the 50 free and the 100 free. Ian Holmes won the 200 freestyle, Nick Garnett won the 100 butterfly, and Ken Landis won the 100 breaststroke also for West. West 400 free relay of Holmes, Garnett, Dave Flynn, and Chris Ergood won with a time of 4:01.9. The girls team fell to Moorestown last week also. Now I have the rundown of all the South Jersey All-Stars. The senior field hockey star Adrian Thorpe has made all Group 4 first team. Heather Levinsky, Julia Dunworth, and Dana Pilla have all made honorable mention. Brian Bianco and Joe Molinaro have both made first team All-South Jersey. In soccer, Bianco made third team All-State, and Joe Molinaro made second team All-State. In addition, Molinaro and Bianco both made all Group 4 team. Defenseman Dan Gola made the second team of all Group 4, and he also received honorable mention for the All-South Jersey team. In football, running back Joel Correa made second team all Group 4, as did offensive lineman Jamie Gaiman and defensive lineman Jim Keneally. Bruce Barker received honorable mention. And finally, Monica Berwagen made all Group 4 for her tennis efforts this season. I had a chance earlier this afternoon to speak to baseball coach Tom Trotman, who recently won the Hot Stovers Coach of the Year award. I'm here with West baseball coach Tom Trotman, who recently won the Hot Stovers Coach of the Year award and the South Jersey Baseball Coaches Coach of the Year award for his outstanding achievements last year. Mr. Trotman, can you please explain how the South Jersey Coaches Coach of the Year award, the process works?
Yeah, Dave, at the end of the season, all coaches are asked to identify who they think is deserving of the Coach of the Year. For me to be selected, and it was a co-championship, Chuck Rooney from Pennsville was also a recipient. To feel that you've been picked by your peers is such a great honor and such a tremendous award that it's got to be shared, it's got to be distributed among a lot of people, the players, the coaches, and the school.
Okay, thank you. Now, this will be your 23rd year of coaching. Of all the past teams you've coached, would you rank last year's team as the best? And before you do that, would you mind telling us the achievements of the 1992 team?
Well, the achievements based on 1992 were rather numerous. We started off in California winning the upper deck, which was something that this school has never had a chance to do in terms of going out of the state. Got to California and played some excellent teams and amounted to winning that very prestigious high school tournament. We then got back to Jersey and started to deal with the Olympic Conference. We were able to win that conference, got into the state playoff, and wound up winning the state Group 4 championship. We, in the month of October, were nominated by the Easton Sports Company as the #1 team in USA, so I feel, again, greatly honored by that award.
My other question was, could you say that this last year's team was the best team you've ever coached?
I've been asked that question many, many times the last couple of months, and my response has always been, because it wasn't only last year's team that has been outstanding. I don't like to rank. I think each team has its own personality. I think each team has its own unique ways of identifying themselves. Obviously, to be ranked #1 in the country, you have to have good talent, which we did. To think that 1992 was the best team, I wouldn't want to declare that. I remember in 1989, we had a truly outstanding team. So I think each team is unique. I think each team has its own personality.
Okay. Of all the players you've coached at West, is there one player at the school that sticks out the most?
Again, I would treat that question the same way in terms of teams. We've had outstanding players over my coaching career. Sean Sr., Bo Gray, Walt Clymer, J.J. Percola. You can go down the list. Last year at this time, I was roasted, and I had come across people that I hadn't seen in over 20 years, and it just brought back great memories. Even when we were having difficulty winning ball games in the earlier years, there were great players in those years as well as the last 5 or 6.
So it brought back the memories of the days when you were called Tommy T Squared?
That's exactly right. Jim Petetti was the one that started that nonsense.
Okay, after a season like last, how do you approach the 1993 season?
I think, and I've tried to make this point to the players coming back, that up until March of this coming year, 1993, I think any awards, any comments, any things that exist in the paper that identify that 92 team ought to be received and ought to be taken upon as an award. But when March rolls around and we get into the 93 season, I think we have to put all those things and all those statements behind us and get ready for the new season.
So you're
It's a
very
new
optimistic?
beginning. Yes, I'm always optimistic. The kids work hard here. We've got a good program. So year in and year out, I feel pretty good going into the season.
Thank you. Mr. Trotman, truly an excellent coach, evident by the many championships his past teams have won. We here at West commend you on a fantastic season and on a great career that's far from over. Congratulations on receiving the Coach of the Year award, and good luck in your upcoming season. Thanks for being here. Well, we'll report back to you in the spring on the status of the West Ball Club. That's all for now, though, so I hand it back over to the anchors.
Auditions for the spring musical start Thursday, December 17th, and run through Saturday, December 19th. This year's musical is West Side Story, and I interviewed Mr. Joe Jalura about the production. Hi, Mr. Jalura.
Hi.
What considerations do you take into account before choosing a musical for any given year?
Oh, big question, because there's lots of things that we have to take into consideration. We look at the kind of students that we know that we've had. Do we have dancers? Do we have singers? Do we have actors? We look at the kind of shows that we've done the past couple of years and try to do something different. And we also like to do something that excites us and is interesting for us as directors to do. They're just some of the things that we think about in choosing musical.
Is this a unilateral decision? Is it just you who makes the decision, or is it a committee?
Well, I'm ultimately responsible for the decision as director, but I always meet and consult with the other directors.
Why did you choose West Side Story, since we've already done it in 1966 and 84?
Well, there are some plays which I think can be done and done and done because they're complex, they're interesting, there is a lot to them. Some plays, as a director, I would not like to repeat it all. There's nothing new in it for me. There's nothing that I can do differently. I would want to stage it the same way because I can only see it this way. West Side Story falls in the first categories. The characters, I think, are not cardboard. They are people whom you care about. And as a director, I can think of dozens of different ways that I could stage the same scenes, using different kinds of scenery, for example, which is one of the things that we're talking about this year, a different style of set. And of course, with different actors, you play on their strengths and the relationships between people, even though the lines are same, become very different with a different cast. So there's a lot of meat in West Side Story. I could do West Side Story every 9 years, I think, and still find something new to do in it.
How big is the cast going to be this year?
It was done on Broadway for 35 people. We'll probably add another 15 to the cast and go with about 50.
Okay, finally, are there any tips or hints that you can give auditioners this year?
Prepare, prepare, prepare. They're the three best things you can do for an audition. I can tell in an instant if a student comes to me to an audition, whether it be a vocal audition or an acting audition, prepared to audition. If they've read the play, they understand what the character, how they are reacting at this moment that I'm asking to read from. If they've prepared their vocal piece, it's instantly apparent. And if they don't, frankly, they've got to really put out a whole lot for me to overcome that initial impression of I'm just here and here I am and I'm not really serious about auditioning. That's the impression that I get. Prepare.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
The induction ceremony for the Robert E. Hansen chapter of the National Honor Society was held last night, December 14th, in West Auditorium at 8 o'clock. The program started with welcoming remarks by NHS President Catherine Pajak, and the inductees were then presented by Vice President Julie McDonald and Treasurer Joey Chang. Finally, Secretary Holly McNaughton led West's 46 juniors and 6 seniors in the National Honor Society pledge to maintain their leadership, scholarship, character, and service.
Our report will close tonight on a sad note. Here's Lindsay Melson with a tribute to Ken Garland, a special friend to everyone here at West.
The Cherry Hill community mourns the loss of Ken Garland, who died with complications of leukemia at 10:30 on Friday evening. Mr. Garland had been very involved with Cherry Hill West as well as Cable 18. For several years, he hosted the Film Forum on Cable 18 with Joe Truitt. 4 years ago, his entire morning radio show was brought to West as a learning experience for broadcasting classes. Some people will remember Ken Garland as the voice behind the green screen of Cable 18 and radio personality of WPEN, while the school-age population might remember him as the man who made us aware that school would be closed or delayed on snowy winter mornings. Ken Garland will also be remembered as the master of ceremonies at many of the 4th of July celebrations held at the Jonas C. Morris Stadium. Mr. Garland will be missed by his many friends here at West. The family asks that donations in Mr. Garland's memory be sent to the Kenneth Garland Research Fund for Leukemia, care of WPEN Radio, P.O. Box 950, Ballackinwood, PA 19004.
Good evening and welcome to Carusi News. I'm Mark Scepter. Tonight's focus on enrichment will be intramural volleyball. Another enrichment activity offered is intramurals. Intramurals is when the students play different sports against other teams. In the fall, the students play soccer. In the winter, volleyball, and in the spring, softball. The 7th graders play different homerooms on Monday and Thursday. It is mandatory that they must participate. However, the 8th graders have the right to choose whether they would like to participate. They play on Friday. There are 12 co-ed teams consisting of about 10 students. The 7th grade teams are not co-ed. The homeroom is split by boys and girls so they can split the playing time. The students say they enjoy intramurals for it is a chance to have some friendly competition with their friends. This week we will be trying something a little bit different. Here's Nick Houlis with movie reviews.
Just when you thought it was safe to walk the streets of New York City, Macaulay Culkin is back as Kevin McAllister in the sequel to the original smash hit Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. The movie is basically the same as the original, with the McAllisters going somewhere distant for the holidays. Only this time, instead of leaving him home alone, young Kevin somehow gets separated from his parents and instead of going to Miami with his family, he accidentally goes to the Big Apple all by himself. Kevin has the time of his life in New York City, especially with his dad's credit card and load of cash. He does some pretty amazing stuff, like check into the main suite in the Grand Plaza Hotel, takes a big stretch limo around the city, and runs up a $900 room service bill. But, like last time, Kevin runs into his old friends, Harry, played by Joe Pesci, and Marv, played by Daniel Stern. The two convicts just happen to break out of jail and somehow meet up with their old little enemy Kevin. They think that this is the time for revenge, but oh, are they wrong. The movie had a little bit of everything. Suspense, when you thought that Kevin would get caught by the bandits, but didn't. Emotion, when Kevin meets up with a homeless lady that seemed intimidating at first, but would eventually grow on Kevin. And classic slapstick comedy, with Kevin putting Harry and Marv through the worst of pain. Although I did get the impression that it was going to be exactly like the first one, in a way, I was right. But, all in all, I thought the movie was tremendously good. It had great acting, a fantastic theme, even if it was similar to the first one, and you just can't resist Macaulay Culkin's smile. Yes, I definitely recommend this movie for the whole family. Even though the slapstick was a little intense, I definitely think that it'll be worth the $6. I give Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, 4 out of 4 Huff. The next movie that we will be reviewing is The Muppets Christmas Carol. The Muppets Christmas Carol is a movie well worth seeing. It follows the story of Scrooge encountering the ghosts of Christmas spirit, past, present, and future. The ghosts help Scrooge realize what giving and sharing means. We gave this movie 3.5 hoof prints. Another great movie that has just come out is Aladdin. This is an animated adventure romance between a princess and a boy. Meanwhile, a genie is granting the boy wishes to become a prince so he can marry the princess. And special recognition goes out to Eric Goldberg, a Cherry Hill East graduate who was supervising animator for the genie. We gave this Disney movie 4 hoof prints. All 3 movies reviewed on the show are well worth seeing. For a movie review, this is Nick Houlis.
Thank you, Nick. Now here's Diane Zabakowski with news on an upcoming event.
Thanks, Mark. This Friday, December 18th, Carusi is having its annual holiday social. The cost is supposed to be $3, but more information will be coming. Everyone is to dress up, girls in skirts or dresses, boys in suits or nice pants. Jeans and sneakers are discouraged. The dance will start at 7:30 p.m. and will end at 10 o'clock. There will also be a DJ. All-night refreshments will be served in the cafeteria. The dance should be a lot of fun, and we hope to see you there.
Thanks, Diane. Now here's sports with Dave Lazowski.
Thanks, Mark. Basketball and wrestling teams are still practicing. A unique feature in Carusi's wrestling team is Shanice Mahan, a girl wrestler. With Shanice is Arit Averon.
Shanice, why did you choose wrestling over basketball or cheerleading?
Because it was a more challenging sport.
How does it feel to be the only female wrestler on the team?
Well, the guys treat me no different than any other wrestler.
Do you feel intimidated by the other male wrestlers?
Yes, because I think they try harder to beat me when they're wrestling because I think they don't want to be beat by a girl.
Thank you, Shanice. Now back to you, Dave.
Wrestlers will start their season with a meet at Tabernacle on Saturday. Yesterday, girls basketball had a scrimmage against Kingston School and played well. And now back to Mark.
Thanks, Dave. We'd like to thank Mr. Gerst, our advisor, and Mr. Hanson, our cameraman. I'm Mark Scepter. From your Carusi News staff, good night.